what a night. Oh, but it feels so good. Oh, thank God for that time change, for that extra hour sleep. Is somebody a little too tired after that comeback last night? Is somebody a little too excited, maybe, after making it on national TV after the one of the 3 Preds goals last night? You don't think I would have liked to have been there with you, being on national TV? Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. Back up a little bit. One, it was my best friend's birthday, so obviously he was coming to the game with me last night to celebrate a milestone birthday of his, not you. And two, if you had come to the game with us, since he was coming regardless, we probably would have gotten kicked out because of something stupid you did, and we would have even been there to see the epic comeback. Well, I guess we could have proved that you and I are 2 different people if you had allowed me to go with you and your best friend to the game last night, but I guess that's a matter for another day. Preds tied the Vancouver Canucks 3-3 after regulation and overtime Saturday night inside Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and then everybody's hands go up, way up, as the Nashville Predators defeat the Vancouver Canucks 1-0 in the ensuing shootout and win the game 4-3. The Preds come all the way back from a 3-goal deficit after 1 period, a multi-goal deficit after 2 periods. They snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, and I was there in person to see it all happen. Quite the night for me. I was at this game in person, my first game in 3 years, helping my best friend celebrate a milestone birthday that he has coming up in later November. Didn't start off great for me, or Preds Nation, or the players on his roster, because just about 2 minutes in, soft rush into the Preds zone. Ilya Mikheyev takes a shot that Saros acted like, and yeah, on replay showed to me in the audience watching on a jumbotron that he should have had back. It beats him. The Canucks already up that early, 1-0. And it goes from bad to worse because just about 3 minutes into the game, into that first period, Roman Josi, playing the puck out, plays it over to his defensive partner, Jordan Gross, who mishandles it. Captain of the Canucks, Bo Horvat, says thank you, gets it to Höglander, and then over to JT Miller, who puts it home past Saros, and already 3 minutes into the game, the Canucks are up 2-0. I saw you, Preds Nation, on Twitter. I will not deny that I was feeling the same way. Everybody at that single moment is like, send Jordan Gross back to Milwaukee. When was the last time a Preds player went from the lowest of lows in a single game to the highest of highs? But we'll get to that. Throughout the remainder of the first period, I kept looking up at the scoreboard in Rogers Arena and thinking, did the Preds really have that few shots on goal in the first period? Wake up! And a cherry on top, in that first period, about 3 minutes remaining in the opening period, Cole Smith gets caught high-sticking Quentin Hughes of the Canucks on the ensuing power play. Jeremy Liaison doesn't cover the passing lane well. And also you've got Ryan McDonough not tying up the stick in front of Kuzmenko of the Canucks, who's able to tap it home on a pass past Saros. And the Canucks are up 3-0. Were the Preds even there in physical being in that first period? The Canucks were out shooting them 13-3. At this point, I said out loud to my friend, yay, you get to enjoy a dinner that was on me for his birthday. Tickets that were on me for his birthday. And yay, the Canucks are going to win on his birthday. But as we shall see, something must have clicked in Saros' mind, because that would be the last puck he let by him, Kuzmenko's goal. And I'll give credit to my best friend who was sitting beside me at that moment after the first period in the intermission. He says, don't worry, Johnny. The Preds are totally going to come back. The Canucks are going to screw this up, and the Preds are going to win this game 4-3. It's like, and I was like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Very funny. I know you're just trying to cheer me up because you're a loyal friend and you know how diehard of a Preds fan I am. Maybe he should go buy a lottery ticket this week. Second period, defensively, a lot better. Saros stopping all 17 shots he faced in that period. And though the Preds only had 9 shots on goal in that period, and most of the time that will not cut it to get a W, the Preds were patient and began to chip away, starting after a Tanner Jeannot-Tyler Myers fight that Tyler Myers got the instigator for, as he should have. And on the ensuing power play, the Preds set up, and oh, look who is there to try to redeem himself after the pathetic play he made for the 2-0 goal in the first period. It's Jordan Gross, and now it's 3-1 Canucks. Canucks fans around me were like, because Preds fans were nowhere close to me for me to be able to give them a high five or a fist bump. The Canucks fans around me instead were like, oh, aren't you going to stand up and celebrate? Maybe serious, maybe half-heartedly, being that, oh, that's the only goal you're going to be able to get in this game. But no, I was like, out loud to my best friend saying, no, once they show me more effort and get another goal, then I'll stand up. After 3-1, I'm content to just sit right there in my seat and do nothing. And it didn't show me anything in the remainder of that second period. The Canucks outshot them 30-12, so I thought, oh, well, maybe Saros will keep it respectable because he hasn't allowed a shot since it was 3-0, but 30-12 in a shot total doesn't really give me much hope going to the last 20 minutes, but then the third period would come. Then, in that last regulation period where the Preds would outshoot the Canucks by a total of 15-13 for the period as a whole, perhaps Jordan Gross said something at the first intermission or the second intermission, along with whatever the coaching staff said, and said, hey, boys, my bad. I am going to make up for that first period. Because just over a minute into that third period, after a face-off win to Demko's left by Mark Janikowski, puck comes back to Jordan Gross, who has a screen provided by a bunch of players, including Mark Janikowski, and Jordan Gross just lets it go on net. It gets through past Demko. The Preds have cut the Canucks lead now down to 3-2. Hey, it's at this point, it's like, okay, now I'll stand up and clap. It's like, yes, very nice, boys. Kind of like the soft golf clap, not wanting to get my butt kicked by any Canucks fans around me, not having anything to brag about yet because the Preds are still down by 1. Oh, and guess what happens next? Bing, bing, bing. My phone starts blowing up. Unbeknownst to me, Facebook messages and text messages and messages on Signal. I was on national TV in Canada on Hockey Night in Canada. Check out the still, because I can't actually show the live video or else this video could get copyright hit. And the Preds aren't done at that point, because about a minute and a half after Jordan Gross's second goal to cut it to 3-2, here comes Matthias Ekholm coming all the way in, cruises behind Demko, behind the Canucks net. He has the puck and he gets it out. The loose puck comes out front to Mito Niederreiter with a few whacks. Oh, it's in! The Canucks have blown a 3-0 lead to the Preds, and it's all tied at 3. The Preds have tied this game with only 15 shots generated on Demko, but still there's 17 minutes left to go in regulation, so at this point, I'm stressed again after being like accepting of the fact that we were going to lose the game down 3-0 or 3-1 after 2. I was expecting to be let down, but impressively, the Preds, like I said with the shot total, kept the pressure on, and amazingly, somehow, this game after 60 minutes is going to overtime tied at 3. Overtime would solve nothing except another period where the Preds would outshoot the Canucks, this time by a total of 3-2, resulting in the first shootout that I and my best friend who was at the game with me have ever seen in person. We were on the side that the Preds would be shooting on in the shootout. First up for the Canucks, Elias Pettersson goes in and he tries the famous Peter Forsberg Deke backhand stretch move, and he gets it off, but he can't control it, and the puck goes wide. And Mikael Granlund on our side of the ice looks like he's going to try the backhand lift move, but he instead tries to go backhand through the 5-hole. Demko reads it, and after one round of shooters, it's 0-0. Round 2 would have JT Miller with a very weak attempt to beat Saros 5-hole. He gives him no look. Then Matt Duchene reads the 5-hole better than Grenlund did the first time. He gets it through, and after the first 2 rounds of shooters where Preds won, Canucks nothing. For the 3rd round of shooters, with the Canucks having elected to shoot first, as long as Saros stops this, the Preds win the game. They do not have to shoot again. It's the Canucks captain, Bo Horvat, who is up, and he skates in. He gets closer and closer to Saros, but he overskates the puck, which means it's loose, and typically they would have blown it dead anyways and said the try was over, but Saros, just to make sure, sees the puck, and he has eyes like a cat and says, "Mine!" Gets out to stop it, touch it officially to make sure it's a completed attempt. The Preds win the shootout 1-0, win the game 4-3. I didn't think the Preds had it in them, Preds Nation. Being down 3-0 after 1 and 2 goals after 2, I was just content to be happy and thankful that I was at my first Preds game in 3 years and spending that time with my best friend for his birthday. Last time the Preds trailed by 3 goals in a game at any point and came back to win, you have to go back all the way to the President's Trophy season when on February 13th, 2018, they were down 3-0 after 2 and had that epic 3rd period comeback capped off by Philip Forsberg's penalty shot walk-off in overtime. The fan base keeps asking, is this game going to fire them up? Is that move going to fire them up? I tell you, if a comeback like this does not fire up this team, not to struggle like it did anymore through the first 10 games of the season before the last 2 games, nothing will. They've now won 2 of 3 to start this road trip with 2 games left on it. One against a very beatable Seattle Kraken on Tuesday, and then against the team that eliminated you from the playoffs last season on Thursday. 3 out of 5 wins on this road trip is very, very doable. But let's get greedy, boys in the locker room, fan base. Let's go for 4. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media as always by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption. Whatever was said by the players or the coaching staff at the first or second intermission that led to the comeback, bottle it up, Preds!